Hey all, my name is Paul Borowski and I am with Quality Business Plan, and I'm here to bring you all our business plan writing tip number 21. And for this tip, what we're going to do is we're going to show you all how to project your monthly inventory for a business plan in Excel. And the importance of projecting your inventory is that when you're writing a business plan, you have to include your cost and your inventory levels. However, it's difficult for some business owners to project what their inventory levels are going to be for the next week, month, or even year. Following this tutorial, y'all are going to have a better understanding on how y'all be able to do that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right into it. So what I'm doing here is I'm starting with just a blank Excel template, and first step in projecting your inventory levels is going to be to create what I call a data block. And for this data block, what we'll do is we'll just type in data block and we'll put colon and then we'll put weights. And so what I mean by weights is that we need to use some kind of a strategy for projecting our inventory levels. And usually business owners, what they want to do is they want to use previous sales from the last 3 months to project what their sales are going to be in the future. So that's the assumption we're going to make here. And I like to color my cells yellow, at least for the title. Merge the cells and then bold it. And next thing what we're going to do here is we're going to type in weight previous month. And then we're going to type in weight 2 months ago. And then we're going to type in weight 3 months ago. And then we're going to type in monthly buffer. And so for the monthly buffer, all that is that you want to kind of, even though your inventory levels were a specific amount for the last 3 months, or your sales were a specific amount for the last 3 months, you still want to have some kind of a buffer. And so that's where this percentage is going to be. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to guess what kind of weights we're going to use for the previous months. So for the previous month, we're going to say that we're going to weigh the previous month inventory levels at about 80%. And then we'll go with a 10% for the month before that. And then we'll go with another 10% the month before that. And all this means is that for the previous month's sales, we're going to use 80% of those that inventory level for our assumptions and our projections. 2 months ago, we're going to use 10% of that inventory level, and then 3 months ago, we're going to use 10% of that inventory level. And then for a monthly buffer, we're going to say that we want to have a 20% above and beyond what our actual inventory or sales were for this estimate right here. Next thing I want to do is I want to color these cells blue. And what this does right here is that it shows that these cells are able to be changed. Yellow is just the color for the titles. And then what we'll do is now we'll go ahead and set up the template here. And for this, what we're going to label it number of sales and inventory projection. All right, and then we're going to kick this out to let's say N. And then we're going to go ahead and merge the cells. We're going to bold it, and then we're going to turn this yellow. And then what we're going to do is we're going to call this part right here actual, and this could be sales or inventory level. It's up to you. And we're going to bring this out, let's say to F for right now. Actually, we'll go to E, and then we'll bold it again, and then we'll go over here, and we're going to do, this is going to be our projections. And then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and merge these cells right here, and we'll go ahead and we'll bold that. And then the next thing what we're going to do is this is what our inventory is. We'll label this right here inventory. And then right here is going to be our sales. And we'll call this 2 months ago. And we'll call this last month sales or inventory levels. Actually, what we'll do is we will say this is 3 months ago. So instead of 2 months ago, we'll make this 3 months ago. And then this will be 2 months ago. Again, this is our inventory level or sales, and this will be last month. All right, and so now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and move these cells so we can see the labels. And all we're doing with that is we're double clicking between the D and the E. And then next thing we're going to do is we're going to call this, then we'll call this month 1. And then we'll go month 2, month 3, and then we'll highlight month 1, 2, and 3, and then we'll wait till we have this little plus sign here, and we'll pull it out. And so what this will do is this will project the sales for the next 10 months. I'm sorry, it will project the inventory levels for the next 10 months. And we'll make this a little bit bigger so we can read it. And then we'll also center all of the titles, and then we'll throw a box around it as well. All right, so now we have our, put a box around that and a box around this, and then we'll put a box around that too. All right, so now what we'll do is we're going to say, let's say our inventory, let's say we're a produce company and we have tomatoes, we'll go with lemons, limes, oranges, pineapples, and then apples. So this is our inventory right here. So these are our inventory items. And let's say we sold 5 lemons, 4 limes, 6 oranges, 8 pineapples, and 10 apples 3 months ago. And let's say we sold 7 lemons, 6 limes, 8 oranges, 10 pineapples, and 15 apples 2 months ago. And then last month we sold, let's go with 15 lemons, and we'll say we have, we'll say 9 limes. Oranges, we'll kick that up to 10. Pineapples, we say we sold 12. And then apples, we'll say we sold 16. All right, so again, any number or any number that we want to be able to change, we're going to highlight in blue for our template. So now we know we can change the inventory items. We can change right here. We can change how many we sold 3 months ago, 2 months ago, and last month. And then we'll put another box around this. And now what we're going to do is we're going to put in our calculations on what we project our inventory level is going to be for the next month. And so what we'll do, actually before we dive into that, we can see right here that our projections are going to start here, and my projection here is a little bit off. So we're going to fix that real quick. So we're going to unmerge this, and then we're going to merge it right here. So that'll fix that. And again, we'll put a box around it. And then we'll unmerge this, and then we'll merge it here. And so now we've got our, we have this merged, the labels all lined up. And then we'll color this. Let's say our projections will be this color. And so we'll go ahead and put our projections there in that color right there. All right, so now we're ready to do our calculations, what our projections are going to be. And for this circumstance, what we're going to do is we're going to type an equal sign. We're going to go with 2 parentheses, 2 open parentheses. Then what we're going to do is we're going to click on last month, and we're going to multiply that by the weight that we're giving for the last month. Close out the parenthesis, put an addition sign, open up another parenthesis, and we're going to click on what we sold 2 months ago, multiplication sign, the weight of what we want to apply for the inventory level 2 months ago, close up the parenthesis, hit the addition sign, open up the parenthesis, click on what we sold 3 months ago, and multiply that by the weight we want to apply for 3 months ago. Excuse me. And then we'll close the parenthesis. Then what we're going to do is we're going to put a second parenthesis. So what this does is this encapsulates this whole equation. The next step we're going to do is we're going to hit the multiplication sign. We're going to open up another parenthesis, and then we're going to click on 1 plus, and then we're going to add our monthly buffer here, which is 20%. Then we're going to close our parenthesis, and we're going to hit enter. So what this is saying is that we're projecting that we're going to have a needed inventory level of 15.84 lemons for the next month based on what our sales have been. Now, obviously, we both know, or we all know, that we can't have 15.84 lemons. It's just not possible. So what we're going to do is we're going to go between the equal sign and the first parenthesis, and we're going to type what's called a roundup. And so we're going to use the roundup function for Excel. We're going to hit an open parenthesis after we type up roundup. Then we're going to go to the end, and we are going to then go ahead and type in, actually we need to delete this real quick. Alright, so we're back to where we were. We're at 15.4. The next thing we want to do is we want to wrap up everything in a parenthesis. So we're going to put a parenthesis in the front and the parenthesis behind. So that encapsulates everything into one equation. Hit enter. Then we're going to go in here and do the roundup function. And it's going to be roundup, open up a parenthesis. Then we're going to go to the end. We're going to hit a comma. Then we're going to hit a 0. And once we hit that comma 0, that's telling Excel to round up to the next whole number. And then we're going to hit a close parenthesis. We're going to hit enter. And so now what this is doing is this is rounding up. This will round up everything to this roundup, whatever we put here, to the next number. And so now we have our projection in a whole number. The final step, what we have to do is we want to make sure these weights don't change when we fill in all the other cells. So what we're going to do is we know that we have our, we're able to change B2, cell B3, B4, and cell B5. So what we're going to do is we're going to lock those down so they don't change. So we got a B2 here, and the way to lock it down is you hit your function, F4, and then we go to B3, double click it, function F4, and then we'll go to our B4, make sure B4 is highlighted, function F4, and then we'll go to our B5, make sure that's highlighted, function F4. We'll hit our enter sign, or enter key, and then what we're going to do to fill in the rest of this block is we're going to highlight this equation, and we're just going to drag it down. And so now if we put our cursor here, we see that we're using these numbers for our calculation, and these numbers haven't changed, but these numbers did. The final step to project for the next 10 months is going to be to highlight the numbers, the projections, and we're going to go to the bottom right corner, and we're going to drag it all the way to month 10. And so now what we've got here is we've got projections for the next 10 months for our inventory levels. The final step is when month after month, so not only is this right here good for projections for the next 10 months, but when a business owner has this template right here, you can also use this in your business. So let's say you're going along in 2 months, you want to update your inventory levels. Well, you just change this right here. Let's say instead of 5, you sold 10, 12, 14, 10. And as you're changing your inventory levels, your projections are going to be changing as well. So that is how our business plan writers show customers how to create a template for projecting their inventories for the next 10 to 12 months. And for the next video, what we'll do is we'll show you how to take these inventory projections and we'll show you how to turn those into a gross profit estimate, which will allow you to estimate what your sales are going to be and such. So if y'all need this template right here, it is available online at our website, and you'll find that link below in the explanation for the YouTube video. And hopefully this was beneficial for y'all. And if y'all need some assistance with writing the business plan, with some Excel training, or even creating your own customized inventory sheet, just let us know. Thank you.